Hey, this is Ken Casey from the Dropkick Murphys, and I love the Grandstanders! Take it away, kid!
Hello, welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the Professor, Russ Stevens, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's Milton's first son, Tim Hoey. Well, we have another great show for you tonight, so boys, let's get it started on the eve of Thanksgiving. So first of all, happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and make sure to stuff
It used to be my favorite holiday. Now it's my worst because I host it.
I'd rather host it than go.
You know, you want to find out things wrong with your house, host a holiday.
Oh my God!
Yeah, right. Oh, exactly.
It's like peeling an onion. You're like, oh, that needs to be painted. Oh, we need a new rug. Oh.
Well, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I hope they stuff your freaking face, because that's what you do. Watch football and then unbutton the pants and 5
Go to
o'clock.
sleep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Put the sweats on.
All right, so we're going to talk about the Boston Red Sox, the 2018 World Series champion Boston
And the
Red
glow
Sox.
is still not off, is it?
Oh, no,
The glow
no.
is still.
Yeah.
With
here.
the glow with the Red Sox winning is
tell ya,
never off.
I
Right?
read this. I finally got a chance to read the Tom Verducci piece in Sports Illustrated about the World Series. And that scene in the locker room after Game 3, when the Red Sox lost the 18-inning game and Cora called a team meeting, was one of the most compelling scenes I've ever seen with respect to a sports team in that moment, because Cora basically turned a loss into a win. He walked in, he gathered everyone, team meeting, and said that was one of the greatest games in baseball history. Everyone competed their ass off. And what Nathan Eovaldi did, and apparently the room just started like standing ovation for Eovaldi and had guys in tears, where Cora basically took what it could have been a devastating loss. You think about Game 6 in 1986 or games that we've lost,
or even like the Angels losing their game.
You see
in
John
86,
Farrell
right?
doing that.
Never.
You see John Farrell doing
Never.
anything like that.
Never.
You know, Cora's the kind of guy, like, in battle, man, he's like a guy you'd follow into battle.
But how did he become this manager savant so
It's
quickly?
in you. I think
right?
we're born with it. I think it's born in you.
I think that's absolutely part of it. I think Brock Holt talked very eloquently and said Cora also was in the game as recently as 3-4 years ago, right? And that carries a lot of weight with these guys.
Have you ever had a teacher or a coach that you knew that they would like jump in front of a bullet for you? I had a captain on my UMass Boston hockey team, the greatest leader. He's the president of a big company right now, but I've never been around a leader like this guy.
And it's born. Yeah, they're born leaders, and Corey.
They know when to
They're
speak,
pushing
when not
you,
to speak.
but you know that they would die. You feel like they would die for you.
Because the whole premise after the Game 3 was whoever wins this game is not going to feel tired, is going to feel energized. And if you lose, you feel doubly tired because it's like you lost a
I want to
doubleheader.
add one thing about leadership. It's Cora's like, he's not in it for the accolades for himself. Like, that's a real leader, where he wants his men to live and succeed. And
because
it's not about him.
Right, because as great
That's
as
a real
they
leader.
succeed, that's what he is. A
the
leader.
reflection on him is the best.
Yeah. If you get a chance to read that article, it was really stunning what happened
Tom
in that.
Farrell was always thinking about himself, like, how does this affect me?
Well, he was old school too. He had
Well,
certain
these
rules
guys.
that he followed each day because that's what you did as a baseball guy.
He was Dave Roberts.
Yeah, but look, the problem is with Alex Cora, and I'm already hearing rumblings, is that there's a lot of teams out there that don't want him as a manager.
They want to
him
poach
as a
him.
general manager.
You know?
Well,
And
it's
so
probably
that's
not
where
a
we could lose
coincidence
him.
because could fall into the breaking news category, but the Red Sox signed him to an extension today.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, gave Core an extension
breaking
and a raise. I think within the
raise.
last 2 hours.
You wonder what
Very
he got for the
smart.
World
You don't get that at any other show. And first of all, let's mention the fact that Dave Dombrowski, one of the first things he said after winning the World Series was that Alex Cora will win another World Series as manager.
Interesting.
And he didn't say manager of the Boston Red Sox, so he just
Yeah,
wanted
right.
to make sure.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Red
Just
Sox.
making sure it wasn't general manager.
Yeah, right.
Because
Exactly.
that's his job.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So this guy obviously has a future.
What do you think about him not winning manager of the year? Bob Melvin's never even going to win a playoff game.
Typical baseball
You know,
crap,
if
right?
you look back on the Astros winning it, how much of a part was Cora of that? I mean,
was
behind
the
the
bench
scenes,
coach.
right?
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
behind
Been a
the
big part
scenes.
of it,
What
yeah.
buttons was he pushing?
Probably
what
a lot of them.
conversations was he having with the
Yeah.
players?
Probably a
Also,
lot of
bench
them.
coach for the Red Sox, Ron Renicky, played a huge role too. He was he
Yeah.
did. He absolutely did in helping Cora
Sure.
out, but yet not getting a job. But to answer your
As
question,
good as
though,
Butters?
baseball. So 3 manager of the year. In recent times, have been fired the following
Yeah.
year. That just shows you what manager of the year means.
Well, like coach of the year in the NBA, you don't even make it to the next
No, it
season.
Yeah,
means
Doc
nothing.
Rivers, right, was 41
Right.
and 41,
Casey.
the coach of the
Dwayne
year.
Casey got fired last year. It was
Yeah.
the coach of the year for Toronto.
So it's an award for we thought you guys were going to really suck. You didn't suck
Exactly.
as bad,
Yeah.
so you win the award.
It's an
We were
award
wrong,
for
so-
exceeded expectations. They should call it the exceeded expectations
Yeah.
I
award.
wonder if they should have a separate award exceeded
Yeah.
expectations. And
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
know John Henry, because he gave Big Papi an extra ring, probably is going to give Alex Cora, with the extension, another World Series ring.
he give
You're
Papi
the
a
best
ring?
manager for
Did
that
he
year.
give Papi a ring for
He
this
gave
year?
he gave him another ring. Do you remember in 2013?
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
not for this year. He didn't.
Yeah.
No, but 13.
yeah.
Remember that in
Yeah.
the
That
ceremony?
was something Red Auerbach used to do. I remember he gave John Havlicek a Rookie of the Year award, even though he didn't win it.
Yeah, so they
Jerry
take
Lucas
care of
won
him.
it.
Yeah. They know. And it feels so good to know our organization is so classy right now and is doing,
They're doing all the right things. Yeah.
right? When the difference
Yep.
between a few years ago when we were in last place and looked like the
And
wheels had completely
these guys
fallen off.
genuinely seem to have affection for each other. I mean,
They're having fun.
you know, there must be another David Price that we don't know because his teammates seem
Yeah.
to genuinely love him. He comes off horribly in the media, I believe, and which has made me really not care for the guy. But his teammates genuinely have a lot of affection.
I don't mean
for
to
this
keep
guy.
harping on this piece, but they described the scene when Evaldi came off. When Evaldi lost that game, Price was the first one out of the dugout. And the article said Price did not leave Evaldi's side through the rest of the evening. He hung with him in the locker room. He wanted to make sure that Evaldi was all right. Next morning he gets up, he has breakfast with Evaldi, and basically Price attached himself to Evaldi for the next 15 hours.
These
And
guys
I'm
love
sure
him.
Fortnite had something to do with it. They played it.
They're on the same team.
But
Yeah, right.
have you've never heard like even a mumbling from a Red Sox that he's not a good teammate.
They love David
They
Price.
love
Yeah.
David
Right.
Price.
Yeah.
How can he come off so negatively in the press? Is it the press just has a
the
grudge against him?
generation.
Well, first of all, it is the press,
Yeah,
too. And
exactly.
it's the
Well,
generation.
no, he's his own worst enemy in his press conferences. He tries to be a little smart ass about it. And
Well, he's
it does-
socially awkward
He's
in
very
public.
awkward
You know
about
Yeah.
it.
this. He's not funny.
no.
If he
right.
was funny,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have a problem. Like he thinks he wants to be funny.
Yeah.
He's just actually not
Yeah.
funny.
No, and he wants to be cynical.
And there's literally
Yeah.
nothing worse than someone who thinks he's funny. He's trying to be funny, and he's not funny.
It won't stop.
Yeah.
Right? right.
It's painful.
I got to
Yeah.
give him kudos for being a good teammate, though.
He's
Oh,
been
yeah.
a terrific teammate. Yeah.
And now he's a legend with the Boston Red Sox because we do not win the 2018 World Series
Oh, without him, not
without
no.
David Price.
Let me just
Okay, I want that
pop in one
established.
final thing. You know, every pitcher on that staff went to Cora the day after Evaldi pitched and said, "Throw
I'm in."
me, I'm
Yeah.
in." I mean, in this day and age with professional
know,
baseball
right.
players, I have never seen that.
Especially with millennials.
Most of
Right,
them are thinking
yeah.
about the next year's contract. What's the condition
Yeah.
of
Oh,
my
yeah.
arm? How marketable am I? Like, you know, when what's his name pitched for Chapman for for the Chicago, all he did was bitch about how he
Yeah.
was overused afterwards. These guys, man, they knew the risks
Look,
that they were involved
Nathan
in.
Evaldi has had 2 Tommy John surgeries already.
He wanted
and
to
is a
pitch again.
free agent at
Yeah.
the end of this year.
Well, he's
Throws
got a
7
bionic
innings, right?
elbow now.
Throws 7 innings. And he went to Cora the next day
Said,
for
"I wanna
game
pitch."
5. And he said, I'm good for tonight. I'm good for an inning tonight.
Basically taking 60, 70, 80 million dollars and putting it on the line.
Absolutely.
No, they weren't taking any calls from agents during that time.
No, they were not.
Yeah,
And
right.
you know what's bizarre? They all are saying now, in unison that they want to come back. Baseball players don't say that.
Yeah.
It's that you make a great point. It's going to be very interesting this offseason because the guys, the Joe Kellys and the Stephen Pierces of the world, have said publicly that they will take less money. Let's see.
But when the paychecks are handed
No, but
out,
I'm saying it,
Let's see if they do take
The
less
agents
money.
usually put a gag on them and say, no,
Let's see
no,
if
no.
they
Would
do
you
it.
would you give Evaldi 4 years, 15 a year, so 60 million over 4 years?
It's funny. That's what I've
I
seen
would.
in the
I would.
in the
I would.
the statistical analysis
Yeah.
of his contract. 4 and 60. I'd do that in a second.
He's a superhero.
Right?
I mean, he just looks like a guy. They say he's the strongest player in the team.
Yeah.
well, that two Tommy Johns. I mean, he's doubly strong.
Right. Maybe you're right.
Well, look, and I talk about it. I know you guys put that down a little bit, but the fact is that even if you're paying him $15 million a year, you could convert him into a
You could.
closer.
How about
and,
this?
And as far as contract wise,
Absolutely.
you'd be at the same level as
Yeah.
Kim.
Would,
How about
would you be
this?
Yeah, I
wasting
agree with
him?
you on that.
Chris Sale.
What's that?
Would you be wasting him though?
No, I'm just
Not
saying
if you really
that
need a closer.
How about this? Chris
Yeah, I
Sale and
guess.
Evaldi are both free agents right now, and you can
Yeah.
sign one of them for the same money. Which one do you sign?
That's
a
such a
great-
great. I mean, look, my sort of hot take coming through all of this is if you're the Red Sox, you have to be very, very careful about giving Sale, 28, 29, $30 million a year for 4 or 5 years because that guy has not proven he can pitch in September and October. So that's such a great point. If you could sign Evaldi for 4 years and 60 versus Sale for 4 years and 120.
Wow.
I'll take Evaldi at 4 years and 60.
because
every
they're probably
day of the week.
similar injury risks at this
Could
point.
be.
right?
Evaldi's probably less of an injury
Oh,
risk.
yeah, with the-
because you almost next year
Kids
you know
have Tommy
you
John
know
just
we're
to get
going to be having
stronger.
the same conversation about Chris Sale in
Yeah.
September if we get to the playoffs next year.
Yeah, but let's pump the brakes a little
He
bit.
starts the All-Star team
Nathan
every year, and then
Evaldi
he's on the
is
bench.
a long way from being Chris
He's
Sale.
not Chris
Okay.
Sale.
No,
All
but
right,
what,
not
I'm
even
talking, no,
close.
what I'm talking about is
Durability.
Sale is going to have a sore shoulder in September and October.
Yeah, but we
next
don't
year.
want note if Nathan Evaldi during the course of a season can be a 15
We don't
to
know that.
18
No,
game
but I'm
We
winner.
saw how
talking about-
inconsistent he could be this year.
Yeah.
He was lights
But
out the first 2 games.
I
and
can
terrible.
bet dimes to dollars Chris Sale's going to have a sore shoulder next October or September,
Or something.
And we
Yeah.
want guys who are going to be around in the playoffs.
It's a really, really great question. And typically I'm the guy saying, sign me the best player no matter what.
Yeah.
But Sale, we've had 2 years of Sale fading in September and October.
Love the guy.
And I mean, who doesn't?
Love his
But
personality.
the
love
fact
his
is
drive.
that if we win another World Series in 2019 and Nathan Evaldi was a huge contributor, then the $60 million was already well spent.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Price,
Right.
Evaldi, Sale, and
Porcello.
Porcello.
And
I
Erod.
mean, and
Yeah,
then
and
fill
Erod.
in the rest.
Yeah,
If
and
Joe
Erod.
Kelly is a shade of what he was in the playoffs.
Yeah. That's the one guy. That's the guy I actually wouldn't resign.
Yeah.
Well, if the price was right, but I'm not
He's gonna
going
get
out-
he's gonna get more
Do you
money
think
than
he'll
I
get
would
double
be willing to
figures?
resign.
5 months
Oh,
of
yeah.
horror show with 3 weeks of grandiose.
Yeah.
Which guy is he?
No,
Yeah.
but also you can convert him to a starter, so he's probably going to get. He's
Oh,
probably
yeah,
going to
he
end
was
up
a
getting.
starter
his
most of
stuff,
his career.
If he had his
7 to
stuff, he
9
could be a
million a
closer.
year.
But he doesn't.
Yeah.
He
He
doesn't.
doesn't.
He
He
just
can't find that strike zone.
he has amazing. He's got
it's
amazing
like a
velocity.
snake coming in.
But he have we seen a guy with that kind of fastball get hit as hard as Joe Kelly? that
No,
you
we've
can
always
remember?
talked about Joe Kelly's. It's like an exchange rate.
Yeah.
His 100-mile
It's
an hour
amazing.
fastball is like an
Yeah.
85. But the fact is, mentally, he doesn't have the makeup to be.
I don't
You
think
have
he
to
does.
throw that bases loaded 3 and 2. You have
That's
to
right.
throw a tough pitch for a strike.
Yeah.
He was surprised by how good he was.
No, I'm
all
sure he
were.
was.
He said, I went from being like an afterthought to all of a sudden I'm important.
Yeah.
But he
He's
said he
even
didn't
shocked
want to be a
himself.
free agent.
Sorry.
He doesn't want to be a free agent. He doesn't even like
I
the
know.
idea of it because he doesn't like the pressure
I know.
of what signing a big contract.
I know a couple
entails.
people that know him, and they say he is the nicest freaking guy, the most humble, regular guy. You would mows his own lawn, just a great.
You know what
great
he
guy.
is. You know what he is. He's a San Diego Padre.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Joe Kelly
Bruce Hurst.
is a great San
Yeah.
Diego Padre
Right.
for the next 4 years at 15 a year.
Yeah.
God bless you. I mean, that's what he sounds like he
15
is.
a year.
He could
No,
make that.
They overpaid. Look what they paid the first baseman from Kansas City.
Yeah.
to
Oh, yeah.
San Diego.
That's stiff.
Oh my God, Mitch Moreland's a better player.
They've got to buy. They've got to pay these guys to come out there and play out there.
Yeah. All
Kelly,
right.
Kelly strikes me as someone who might take less to stay.
He may because that's.
And if he does, then I think you consider it. But you got to be careful about overpaying.
Oh yeah, he's
No
not
more than
worth anywhere near that.
$6 million a year
Tops,
for
yeah.
3 years.
Do you remember?
8 years.
Do you rely on the July and August film, or do you rely on the
The
October
whole
film?
year.
You got to take the last 3 years into account.
Yeah.
It's 3 years of. He's got 3-year history here.
When he can't find the
Yeah.
strike zone, that ball's
We
everywhere.
went and
We've lived
yelled on this show before the playoffs. Please do not put.
You didn't want him on the roster.
We didn't want him on the playoff
I don't
roster.
even think we considered him.
How many of us put together that game? We sat right behind the plate and we watched him walk 4 people in a row with a 9-0 lead.
Yeah, no. Yeah. If Joe Kelly leaves,
Timmy's memory is now coming back.
And then he hit 2 guys too.
We're not
with
gonna
it,
miss
you know
Joe
what I mean?
Kelly.
That was burned into your memory.
That was. I said, who is God?
I can't believe we were even there at 9-0.
That's not like us.
No, it's not. All right, so it's officially over. I don't want to be negative, but let's give him his gold watch. Dustin Pedroia's career is
Yeah,
over.
I don't
And the
agree
reason
with you.
I know it is true because Dave Dombrowski said he may not even be ready for
Yeah.
spring training. I mean, seriously, this God bless him. It's just an injury that he cannot come back from.
Let him take over Butter's old position and do the infield
What is
practice.
what
with
is
everybody.
$13 million.
What is what
third
is
base
the
coach.
injury?
It's a
Oh,
serious
it's a
knee
very
injury, yeah.
serious knee injury. They had to basically regrow cartilage in under his kneecap. I
And
mean,
they keep
that's-
giving him the shots, the
yeah,
replenishment.
It's a
How
tough
old
one.
now?
33
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah,
It's
it's
but
over,
that's
yeah.
fine.
It's,
But
it's
we've
looking
already
more and
moved
more
on.
like
but
that.
everybody's
yeah.
moved on.
It looks more and
Yeah.
more like it's over. Yeah, you certainly
This is
can't
one of those
count
guys
on
we
it.
were talking the previous show about. Don't feel bad for him. He's making $20 million a year, and some poor stiff is going out working 16 hours a day for $12 an hour. So I'm not going to feel that.
No,
bad.
no, we're not feeling bad. But thank you for your service.
If he was making less money, there'd be a team. He could be a DH. He doesn't have a lot of pop, but he hits 280, 290.
Yeah.
He's a Red Sox Hall of Famer. He was the starting second baseman on 2 World
He had
Series
an MVP.
teams.
He won MVP.
You're going to need a
Yeah.
solution at second base is the bottom line. And
Yeah.
and if
But we have a Gold Glove second base.
right, I don't think they're signing him either.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't think they're signing him. I mean, you're going to need to get a second baseman going into the year. I just don't think you certainly don't want to put Nunez there. And Holt is just much more valuable moving Holt all over the diamond,
Also
right?
playing Holt 100 games a year.
Holt
instead
needs to
of-
stay
Yeah.
in that role.
Yeah.
He's not. He's
Super
not an
utility.
everyday go out
He's
there, you
kept
know what I
fresh
mean?
by moving him around.
Yeah.
He stagnates when he's at the
Yeah.
same position.
Talk
for
about a
most of
guy
the
who
week.
has changed his perception.
Oh, that's for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Oh, look, I'm never
Team
going to say
leader
another
there.
bad
Forget
word
David
about
Price.
Wait, let me
Bryce
do
for October.
He's got everything. He's a 5-tool player.
I know, yeah.
And Scotty would be shooting.
I'm
paper
never
clips
saying
at him.
anything wrong about Brocktober. But
Brocktober.
now I have a theory about second base right now because, and just stay with me here, because of all the constant shifting they do in almost every batter, that these guys, you've got third baseman playing shortstop a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You got shortstop playing second base. That the second base position has changed, right? So can the Red Sox put in a third base prospect like a Chavis,
Right, or
a
Dahlbeck,
Dahlbeck or
yeah.
something, and put him
It's
at
a great
second
question.
base?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you're getting great offensive potential, and you're not really compromising that second base position like you would have in the past.
If they can turn the double play, fine. Put the better bat there.
Yeah.
yeah, right. And I think that's what the Red Sox are going to end up
It's
doing.
it's certainly worth exploring. I don't think they have any second baseman in the organization.
Or would they convert Swihart to second base?
I'd love
Oh,
to see
they've
them try
converted
to
them
do
to
that.
every other position.
Look, I mean,
in the-
Craig Biggio is in the Hall of Fame. He was a catcher.
Yeah,
and he had the
right.
same
Is
build.
Swihart the offensive? Is his offensive capabilities
At
high enough to be
second-
an everyday guy?
Well, it's a
though?
great question. At second base, it may be high enough.
What do we want our second baseman to hit, and how many home
I
runs
want my
are we
second
looking
baseman
for?
to hit 280 with about 15 and 16 home
Swihart-
runs.
Be a lockdown
I think
second
Swihart
baseman
wasn't a
defensively.
middle infielder. The Red Sox converted him to a catcher in the minor leagues.
I would love to see
Well,
that.
he has the
It's a great
size and
question.
the speed of a second baseman.
Yeah.
He
Yes,
doesn't
he
really.
maybe-
He's not a stereotypical catcher. I mean,
He could be Craig. I mean, not a Hall of Famer, but if Craig Biggio can do it, Swihart can do it. Swihart's a very good athlete.
we saw.
Yeah, good- fast too.
Yeah.
The fact is that the second half of the season, Swihart was a legit major league player. Right? You know, I mean, he showed.
Yeah.
He didn't get
showed
to
some
I would
play
love
much
that.
in the
That would make
playoffs.
me happy if I read next week that Swihart's going to start taking ground balls at second base in spring training. That would make me pretty happy,
Yeah.
actually.
You're right. The upside could be great because
Sure.
now
Yeah,
all of a
I
sudden
like
you don't
that.
have to carry
Get
the third
Dombrowski
catcher.
on the phone.
Yeah, but you're-
He'll take your call, right?
oh, he takes my
Dom
call.
So
Bro.
we're
Yeah.
so we're locked in on our third baseman then.
What's that? Oh yeah, Rafael Devers is our third baseman.
Wait. He makes
Until
one
you
good
move your
defensive
first
play, and
Right.
Oh,
he's
no.
off the hook.
He played pretty well.
All in
Nobody
the
was more
past, the
clutch in
second
the
half of the year.
playoffs in the
he
World
made
Series
one
than
good
Rafael Devers.
defensive play.
Yeah,
well,
but
we're gonna
he-
forget all of the horrible.
Oh,
defensive
But I
play.
thought the last 2 months of the season, his defense improved dramatically.
did.
After he came back off the DL, it was like night and day.
Okay, but we're not gonna wax too poetic about Rafael Devers because I have a trade rumor. Yeah, come on, put it up.
No,
we
no,
can put
no,
the breaking news.
No.
Whatever you got, Todd. Because I have a trade rumor, and I want you guys to think this seriously.
Looking at the
There
big
you
board.
go.
Looking at the big board here.
All right, good job. Is that I'm hearing rumors because Brookline's own Theo Epstein, and of course we've had
do have your ear
his
to the-
brother on the show, Paul Epstein, which we hope to have on in the future. So their rumors are that Chris Bryant, their star third baseman, is on the trading block. This is a guy that was a candidate for MVP a few years back. Would you trade Chris Bryant right now for Rafael Devers straight up?
They need the cheap players because they're going to be paying a lot of people a lot of money.
Well, all right. So Bryant's a free agent in 3 years. Devers would what be 5?
5 years.
right?
I absolutely would not.
You would not do that.
No, Bryant's he's significantly older. Devers is only going to get better defensively. It always happens
I
with
think
third
part of
basemen.
Devers is part of the beauty
Yeah,
of this
remember
team
Wade
with the
Boggs.
homegrown talent
That's right.
and the mix
Yeah.
of
I don't do
expensive
that.
Yeah,
veterans.
Bryant's 4 years older. So yeah,
Yeah,
he is
I
up-
don't do
yeah.
that. I mean, you lose
So
4 years. You got to pay the guy much faster than you're going to pay Devers. I think Devers' a ceiling might be higher than Bryant's.
Yeah, Devers.
Wow, that's saying a lot.
I mean,
He was
Bryant's-
hitting good pitching. That's a
That's
rare
the thing I like about Devers
Yeah.
is this is a guy who can hit great pitching.
Yes.
Aroldis Chapman.
22
See
years
you
old.
later. You know?
I like
Burned
Devers
in my
too,
mind that home run off Chapman.
Yeah.
I like
mean-
Devers too because he hits to left field.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
uses the wall.
Yeah.
However, guys, let's think about that.
From a
Chris Bryant, a
defensive
right-handed
standpoint.
hitter, a great defensive third
The
baseman.
defensive part might be the only part that might sway me.
Yeah.
What's his salary? What kind of dough is he making?
He's going to make a lot
he's,
of
you know,
money.
Obviously,
Big dough,
arbitration
I-
eligible.
he's
and
arbitration.
he's
I
gonna
think
go
you're
out
going to
himself.
need to. You're
You
going to
need
need
that
to
money
use.
for
You're
other
going to need to
things.
use your
For the
resources.
bull-
Okay,
Bullpen.
so we're keeping Rafael. All right,
Yeah.
that's fine. I just wanted to throw that out. All right, so boys, you know how much I love Xander Bogaerts. Nobody has loved Xander Bogaerts
From
more.
Double A on, I
From
know.
Double A
Yeah.
on. I met him many times. In fact, we've had video of me with him on the show. Okay, but it's time for Xander to go this offseason.
This offseason?
What are you going to get for him?
It's look.
Why this offseason?
Because he's going to be a free agent next year, and one more year. And unfortunately, I think they will take. It's going to be Sale, Porcello, and Xander as free agents after this year. Would you agree? I think Porcello. They'll be moving on from him.
I think that's right.
How about we get a great.
No, wait, you
good
agree that we'll be
group?
moving on from Porcello?
I agree with
You
that.
Yeah,
agree,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, you agree Porcello probably because he's making $22 million.
Yeah.
I just want to give him his due. Okay, it's really between Xander and Sale. They don't keep both of them, I don't think.
Oh, I think they could, but then they've got to be taking a look at Mookie, JBJ. I mean, a couple of those guys are going to go.
JBJ's a free agent after next year.
2 years.
2 years.
No, he can opt out after next year.
No, I don't. He doesn't have an opt out.
He does have an opt out.
No, no.
No.
Xander,
Jackie
no.
Bradley?
Oh, not JBJ. I'm talking about
JD.
JD. I'm
JD.
sorry, I
Okay,
missed
all right,
it.
but I'm just talking about who is in front of us right now.
Yeah.
I'm just speculating that I think that the. Would you
So
agree that the Red Sox
so
can
it
win a
sounds
World
like
Series
you're
without
ranking. You rank in the scheme of things. Mookie number 1, Bogarts number 2, Jackie number 3. With regard to guys you want to bring back, or would you flip flop?
I think
JBJ
Mookie's 1, and I think Chris Sale's number 2. Ultimately, they're going to want to keep Chris Sale.
Pitching
on
is
this
harder
team.
to come by,
Yeah.
so you're going to have
See,
to.
to me, Sale's physical
I don't think
issues
it's that
are
clear.
gigantic.
We all agree, but
a
pitching is so
gigantic-
hard to come by.
Yeah, I know, but
that
pitchers
arm
you
is
pay
so-
$30 million to who
Yeah.
can't pitch
That
in
arm
September and
is-
October.
You
That's
go get another guy for $30 million. You get a lot for $30 million.
It's a very
you
difficult
do.
decision. It almost feels like a Dante Hightower decision,
No.
where this is a guy
Yeah.
who's contributed a lot,
Yeah.
and you gave up a lot to get
Look.
Chris Sale. I'm just saying that I think they can win a World Series without Xander.
Here's-
Bogaerts.
I'll give up Xander if you can get a pitching prospect and a shortstop
Hey,
prospect.
Scott, we won basically a World Series without Chris Sale. I mean,
That's a great point.
No,
you know,
we
he
did.
he was an asterisk
It's a
on
great
why we
point.
won.
But those number one
Here's
starters.
the good thing, though. No,
No, but
what-
he didn't. He was a small part.
Here's
of
the
it.
good thing.
Very small.
We
You're
actually
right.
Yeah,
don't
no, he
have
was.
to.
You're right.
We don't have to make the decision on. I don't think they would if they're pitting Xander against Sale. They actually don't have to make the decision on Sale. We can get another full year look at Sale, right? You don't have to
Yeah, I
re-sign
think
Sale
so.
this year, right?
This is the
I
make
don't
or
see them
break.
getting rid of Bogarts if there's a question that Sale might not be the guy.
No, but I'm saying if you're going to trade someone, you're not trading Chris Sale, obviously, this offseason.
But why do you have to trade someone? I guess my question is, why do you have to trade someone right now?
Well, getting something back in return.
Well,
Yeah,
you
but
want
on the
cheaper
other hand-
players like
on the other hand, you get a
prospects.
year of insurance to take a look at Sale, though.
I mean, if you see somebody has this freak at shortstop playing in the minors somewhere, and he's 2 years
Well,
away, and you
Xander's not going to be good enough then.
yeah,
Yeah.
if there's somebody on your radar who you go, oh my God, this guy's a generational player. And he's a shortstop.
Then you
and
gotta give up
Then
Sale.
the wheels start turning. But for every person you get rid of, you have to have a plan who's going to fill that slot.
So this is a good line of question. Sort of a surprising guy they may deal this offseason. You think it might be
Could
Xander.
be Xander. I think
Do
you're
you
going
have
to hear.
one in mind? I actually
Oh,
think
is
that there's a chance they could deal Porcello. If they want to sign Evaldi, right? And they're looking at we're not planning on signing Porcello after this year. If we can sign Evaldi, do we turn around and trade Porcello?
And if you think that Erod is going to be the pitcher that
Yeah.
you hoped, and actually he showed
And
obviously he showed
Erod's,
signs
I'm
of it.
sure, is in that tradable block. JBJ. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys, in that second level
you
players.
think
But
JBJ,
Porcello, though,
Erod.
you know what you're getting.
Porcello-
But you also know that you're probably not going to pay Porcello $25 to $30
You
million.
think he's going to want that kind of money?
Hell yeah,
You
he's
think-
only
course
30.
he
He's making 22, 23
He's making
now.
22,
I don't want
23
him
now.
making much more than that,
He's making
unless
22, 23 now. He's won a
foolishly
Cy
throwing
Young
money
and a
around.
World Championship.
Yeah, and he had a great season.
Why
this
wouldn't he
year.
get a
Well,
Why
he
wouldn't he
didn't
want
have
a
a great
raise?
season. He had a pretty good season.
Oh no, I thought he was he was an excellent pitcher.
Especially
for
the second half, he was much more consistent
I
than
do.
the rest.
He is consistent. That is the key word for Cicel. You pretty much know what you're getting.
and he had some key
He
games
gave you a
against
quality
the Yankees
start,
and
like
stuff.
a
yes.
dozen quality starts in a row.
That's
you're-
very interesting because I would never have thought
So
about.
you're thinking it'd be more likely JBJ and Erod. Are there guys on the team right
And
now?
Xander-
You
throw
could see them?
Xander in
Erod
there
or
and-
Porcello, which Erod's way younger, cheaper. I mean,
Yeah.
I take Porcello over Erod all day.
I would take him as a pitcher, but in the marketplace, Porcello's worth more than Erod. I don't think there's any
Yeah.
question.
Erod has
Porcello's
proven
Remember,
consistency.
Right.
yet,
Erod,
Erod
they
gets
gave
hurt every
the
year.
Orioles gave Erod away because of the head problems.
Look, you can always trade Erod next year, and hopefully his value increases with
Yeah.
a good season. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a great point. I mean, I never thought about.
he made a
trading
valiant
Porcello.
start in the playoffs too.
If they could trade Porcello, obviously, and clear that.
If you
con-
thought you could sign
contract off the
Evaldi,
books.
I think that
Scotty,
frees up Porcello.
I like your kind of overall premise here. You're taking this abundance of wealth, and everyone is at their top market right now
Just
because of
before
this
they
World
hit free
Championship.
agency.
And you identify some kids out there you really want to get. You identify the top 10 prospects out there, and you set your target on them and start. These guys are all overvalued right now. We just won the World Series. Everybody's a hero, and you
Yeah,
start.
yeah, but
you start
also-
spin a few of those guys
and doesn't
off.
San Diego owe us a little something because of the Pomerantz deal that we didn't make them take
I
them
don't
back?
know. I don't think they're paying you back anything for that anymore.
Everyone else, they had to pay back everyone
Yeah,
else.
I
and,
think
and
that's-
Dombrowski
You know,
that-
to spin off of
Water's under
Porcello
the
and
bridge.
get like some unbelievable stud shortstop in somebody's system.
But the key is you won a World Series, so you know exactly the equation on how to win a World Series.
Yeah,
So you
which-
think about it. What could we subtract right now and still get to where we were?
Well,
this
see,
year?
I would actually push back on you on that with Bogarts, because here's a guy who knows how to play in Boston, knows how to succeed in Boston, has won 2 World Series, right? Actually had faced some adversity, came back from that adversity, and now seems to be on the upswing. So you might take a look and say, Bogarts is a known
and
quantity.
he's durable.
for
He
us.
plays
No,
150
I would love
games a
for
year.
them to sign him, but I think that also what Boris is his agent. I think he may
Yeah.
be asking for a price that you're not willing to pay.
And that may
he's
be
not
true.
a $30 million player.
Totally.
That's
No,
not even.
I don't
No,
think
no,
his
no.
market will be anywhere near that. There's a lot of good shortstops out there, a lot better than him.
I think Xander Bogaerts is a $15 million player. Really. I don't-
Okay, it's an everyday guy because he does show up.
He
every
does
day.
show
He
up.
plays a lot of games every year. He's never got those 60-game seasons or anything.
Yeah, and
He's
your point is
150
they're not
plus
getting
every
him
year.
for less than 20.
Right, but
in
do you
Boris's
think
mind.
Xander Bogaerts is a $20 million player?
You'd be overpaying him a little bit. Not egregiously overpaying him, but you'd be overpaying him a little
Yeah,
bit.
and then you'd have to give him, 6 years?
Something
You
like
guys
that,
see
yeah.
the salaries trending down possibly as it seems like baseball's losing
Well, last
some of
year
its
the market was
popularity.
down.
Does that
They
affect
have.
its revenue and how
Well,
they
like
disperse it?
everything else, the middle gets hollowed out, so the superstars get paid more, and the middle
Bottom
sort
guys.
of the
This will
aging
be
veterans.
interesting because you got 3 or 4 superstars
Yeah,
up
Machado
as free agencies,
and Harper.
and they set a new market. Last year, like even Martinez had to take a lot less.
Yeah.
10,
What's
15
happened? They're
million
talking
dollars.
what 40 a year for 10 years.
He's
Never.
not getting it.
Yeah, look, the Red Sox have gutted their minor league system, or we might be having a different
Well-
conversation about putting in a young shortstop or something to infuse
That's
into
right.
the rest of the team. All right, boys, well, that went quick.
That did.
That's our show for tonight. Want to thank, of course, the boys. Want to thank everyone behind the scenes. Of course, the lovely and talented Adrian and handsome Todd. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in again next Wednesday night at 6:30 for another edition of the Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night. I'm Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night. The elephants are in town.
Here comes the circus.